8 brain rules that will completely transform your productivity. Imagine this. You have the same 24 hours in a day as a scientist, a billionaire, or an Olympic athlete. The difference is not time. The difference is how they use their minds. Have you ever wondered why some people stay productive for hours without feeling drained, while others wake up tired before the day even begins? Sometimes it feels like our own minds are working against us. The to-do list keeps growing. Energy drops to zero. You sit down to focus, but distractions attack from every direction. Phone notifications, social media, random thoughts, endless overthinking. And by the end of the day, you feel mentally exhausted, without accomplishing the things that truly mattered. But now imagine a different kind of day. You wake up refreshed. Your mind feels clear. You finish tasks without pressure. You stay focused. And at night, instead of feeling burnt out, you feel satisfied. Not because life became easier, but because you finally learned how your brain actually works. This is not motivation alone. This is neuroscience. Science has already shown us how the brain creates focus, how distractions steal energy, and how habits can literally rewire the mind for productivity. The secret is simple. Stop fighting your brain. Start working with it. Today, you'll discover 8 powerful brain rules that can completely change the way you work, think, and live. And once you understand them, you may never go back to your old habits again. So the real question is, are you ready to unlock the hidden power of your mind? Rule 1. Sleep, the brain's reset button. Think about the last time you woke up naturally, without an alarm. Your eyes opened gently. Your mind felt calm. Your body felt light. And for a moment, you thought, wow, I actually feel good today. Everything felt easier. Your thoughts were sharper. Your emotions were stable. Your motivation came naturally. But how often does that happen? For most people, not very often. Because modern life has convinced us that sleep is optional. We sacrifice rest for work, for scrolling, for late-night entertainment, for just 5 more minutes on our phones. And then the next morning arrives. Heavy eyes, mental fog, low energy. But here's the truth. Sleep is not wasted time. Sleep is your brain's recovery system. While you sleep, your brain cleans itself. It clears mental clutter, processes emotions, strengthens memories, restores focus. A tired brain struggles with everything. Even small decisions feel overwhelming. But a rested brain becomes powerful, sharper thinking, better creativity, stronger emotional control, higher motivation. And yet many people never fully rest. Even at night, the brain stays overstimulated. Netflix playing, reels scrolling, mind racing. Instead of recovering, the brain overheats. Real productivity begins the night before. The way you sleep determines the way you think. So the next time you're about to sacrifice sleep for endless scrolling, ask yourself, is this stealing tomorrow's energy? Because a tired brain cannot build a great life. Rule 2. Move your body, sharpen your mind. Have you ever had days where your mind felt completely foggy? You try to focus, but nothing clicks. You read words without understanding them. You stare at the screen, but your attention keeps drifting away. It feels like your brain is moving in slow motion. Most people respond the wrong way. More caffeine, more scrolling, more distractions. But the real solution is often much simpler. Move your body. Even a short walk can completely change your mental state. A few minutes of movement, and suddenly your thoughts become clearer. That's because movement wakes up the brain. Exercise is not only for your body, it directly affects your mind. When you move, your brain releases chemicals like dopamine and serotonin, chemicals linked to focus, motivation, confidence, and happiness. Movement also improves memory and creativity. That's why some of the best ideas come while walking, not while sitting. But modern life has turned people into sitting machines. Chair, car, couch, bed. And slowly, energy disappears. You don't need an intense gym workout to change this. A short walk, stretching, light exercise, fresh air, even 10 minutes can shift your mental state. Movement creates momentum, and momentum creates productivity. So the next time your mind feels stuck, don't ask, how do I force myself to work? Ask, Should I get up and move first? Because sometimes one small step changes everything. Rule 3. Focus on one task at a time. Modern life has made multitasking look productive. Phone in one hand, laptop open, music playing, notifications buzzing, thoughts racing. And somehow, after hours of working, you realize almost nothing meaningful got done. That's because multitasking is an illusion. Your brain is not doing many things at once. It's rapidly switching between tasks, and every switch drains energy. Focus is one of the rarest superpowers in today's world. When your attention locks onto one thing deeply, your brain operates differently. Clarity increases, creativity expands, time feels faster. This is called deep work, and it's where extraordinary results are created. But distractions constantly attack our focus. Notifications, short videos, constant stimulation. Slowly, the brain becomes addicted to shallow thinking. Short attention spans create short results. Now imagine working with complete presence. One task. No distractions, no switching, just total immersion. The quality of your work changes completely. At first, your brain will resist. You'll feel bored, restless, distracted. But if you stay focused long enough, your mind becomes calm again. And calm focus is where powerful work happens. The next time you sit down to work, ask yourself, am I fully present right now? Because extraordinary people are not always more talented. They're simply more focused. Rule 4. Manage stress before it manages you. Sometimes everything looks normal on the outside, but inside, chaos is happening. Your heart feels restless. Your thoughts feel heavy. Your breathing becomes faster. And you don't even know why. That's stress. The dangerous thing about stress is how slowly it enters your life. At first, it feels normal. I'm just busy. I'm just tired. But over time, stress changes the way you think. It weakens focus, kills creativity, fills your decisions with fear, and eventually, exhaustion becomes your normal state. Stress doesn't just affect the mind, it affects the body too. Sleep suffers, energy drops, motivation disappears. But stress is not always the enemy. Stress is often a signal that something inside your life is out of balance. The first step is learning to pause. Not everything needs an immediate reaction. Sometimes your mind simply needs silence. A deep breath, a walk, fresh air, a moment alone. And one of the biggest causes of stress is unrealistic pressure. Trying to be perfect, trying to move too fast, trying to do everything at once. But you are not a machine. You are human. And healing is part of being human. Managing stress means respecting your mind enough to listen to it. Because if you ignore stress long enough, eventually stress forces you to stop. Rule 5. Repeat to remember. Have you ever learned something inspiring, but completely forgot it days later? That's because the brain learns through repetition. Reading something once is rarely enough. Your brain strengthens ideas by revisiting them again and again. Just like muscles grow through repeated training, the mind grows through repeated exposure. That's why songs stay in your head without effort. You heard them repeatedly. You felt them emotionally, and your brain absorbed them deeply. The same principle applies to habits, goals, and personal growth. The problem is modern life constantly pushes new information at us. We consume endlessly, but rarely reflect. One motivational video, then another reel, then another distraction. Inspiration without repetition creates temporary excitement, not transformation. But repetition rewires identity. The thoughts you repeat daily become beliefs. Beliefs become habits. Habits become your future. So if you want confidence, discipline, focus, or growth, repeat those ideas daily. Write them. Read them. Think about them. Speak them. Because what your brain hears repeatedly, it eventually accepts as truth. Rule 6. Visuals beat text. Have you noticed how a single image can stay in your mind longer than pages of text? That's because the brain processes visuals incredibly fast. Images create emotional impact instantly. Words require effort to decode, but visuals communicate immediately. This is why diagrams, mind maps, and visual boards are so powerful. They turn information into experience. When learning becomes visual, it becomes memorable. And yet most adults stop learning visually. We think visuals are only for children, but the brain never stops responding to images. In fact, visualization is one of the most powerful tools for productivity and success. When you visualize your goals clearly, they stop feeling abstract. They become emotionally real. A vision board, color-coded notes, sketches, mind maps. All of these help the brain stay engaged. Visualization creates clarity, and clarity creates action. The people who succeed fastest are often not learning more information. They're organizing information better. So don't just read your goals. See them, feel them, visualize them, because the brain remembers what it experiences emotionally. Rule 7. Emotions drive action. Most people believe productivity is about logic. But the truth is, emotion drives action. When you deeply care about something, you naturally give it energy. You stay awake for it, fight for it, sacrifice for it. But when emotion is missing, even simple tasks feel heavy. That's why discipline alone often fails. Because logic without emotion creates resistance. Every meaningful action has emotional fuel behind it. A mother caring for her child, an artist creating a masterpiece, an athlete training for years. Their energy comes from emotional connection, not obligation. If your goals feel empty, ask yourself, why does this matter to me emotionally? Because goals without emotional meaning become chores, but goals connected to purpose become powerful. Emotion creates momentum, and when the heart aligns with the mind, productivity stops feeling forced. Rule 8. Your brain needs breaks. Many people treat themselves like machines. Work harder, push longer, never stop. But the brain was never designed for non-stop performance. After long periods of focus, the mind naturally becomes tired. You stare at the screen but stop understanding anything. Your body is present, but your attention disappears. That's your brain asking for recovery. But instead of resting, most people feel guilty. Just one more task. Just a little longer. And slowly, burnout begins. Science shows the brain works in natural energy cycles. After periods of deep focus, it needs recovery time. Short breaks restore mental clarity. A few minutes of silence, a walk, deep breathing, closing your eyes. These small pauses recharge focus and creativity. Rest is not laziness. Strategic rest increases performance. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is pause, because breakthroughs often appear in moments of stillness, not constant hustle. Conclusion. Unlock the power of your mind. At the beginning of this video, maybe you were simply looking for ways to become more productive. But now you understand something much deeper. Productivity is not about forcing yourself harder. It's about understanding your brain. You discovered why sleep restores mental power, why movement sharpens focus, why deep focus beats multitasking, why stress must be managed, why repetition rewires identity, why visuals improve learning, why emotions fuel action, and why rest is essential for growth. These are not just theories. These are practical brain rules that can transform your daily life. But knowledge alone changes nothing. Only action creates transformation. So now the question is, which one of these brain rules will you start using today? Comment below and share your answer. And if you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more powerful content about mindset, productivity, psychology, and self-growth. Because your mind is your greatest asset, you just need to learn how to use it.